What if the most advanced machine of the ancient world isn't in a museum, but still standing in the desert? For over 4,500 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza has defied explanation. Not myth, not legend, stone. 2.3 million blocks of it. And here's the problem, we still don't fully understand how it was built. The first lie we were told. You were told it was a tomb, a monument for Pharaoh Khufu. Simple, case closed. Except, no mummy was ever found inside. No elaborate burial inscriptions. No hieroglyphic texts covering the walls like in later pyramids. Just smooth stone, mathematical perfection, and silence. If this was merely a tomb, why build something this advanced? The impossible construction. Each block weighs several tons. Some weigh as much as 80 tons. Granite was transported from Aswan, over 500 miles away. No cranes, no steel tools, no wheels capable of carrying that weight across sand. Mainstream historians suggest ramps. But here's what they don't tell you. To build a straight ramp tall enough, it would have required more material than the pyramid itself. Spiral ramp? No archaeological evidence. Internal ramp? Still theoretical. So how did they lift multi-ton blocks nearly 500 feet into the air? And how did they place them with surgical precision? Because the Great Pyramid isn't just big. It's precise. Terrifyingly precise. Precision that shouldn't exist. The pyramid is aligned to true north with near-perfect accuracy. Modern engineers using advanced instruments struggle to replicate that level of alignment. Yet somehow, thousands of years ago, this was achieved. Without GPS, without compasses, without satellites. Coincidence? Or knowledge we've underestimated? The mathematical code. Now it gets stranger. The ratio of the pyramid's perimeter to its height corresponds almost exactly to pi. Its proportions reflect the golden ratio. Its dimensions encode Earth's planetary measurements at scale. How does a civilization supposedly limited to copper chisels encode planetary mathematics into stone? How do you design something that mirrors the geometry of Earth without knowing the size of Earth? Either it's coincidence stacked upon coincidence, or it's intentional, and intentional changes everything. The King's Chamber mystery. Inside the pyramid sits the King's Chamber, built entirely from granite. Granite is one of the hardest stones on Earth. Cutting it precisely today requires diamond-tipped tools. Yet inside the chamber, the blocks are fitted so tightly you cannot slide a sheet of paper between them. The surfaces are smooth, level, engineered. Some researchers have examined drill core samples and found spiral patterns that suggest advanced drilling methods. Faster than what copper tools could reasonably achieve. So what cut the stone? What drilled the holes? And why is the chamber built the way it is? Because the King's Chamber doesn't look like a burial room. It looks a functional, the star alignment. For narrow shafts extend from the inner chambers. They were once believed to be ventilation shafts. But they don't ventilate, they point directly at specific stars as they appeared around 2500 BCE. Orion, Sirius, stars associated with rebirth and the afterlife. But the precision of the alignment suggests astronomical expertise. They weren't just looking at the sky, they were mapping it, encoding it. Why align a stone structure to the stars? Navigation, symbolism, or something more technical? The hidden void. In 2017, scientists scanning the pyramid discovered something shocking. A massive unknown void above the Grand Gallery. A hidden chamber. Not in the original historical record. Not accessible. Not explained. Still there. Untouched. Sealed. For thousands of years. Ask yourself this. If we're still discovering new chambers in 2025, how much do we really know? The energy theory. Now we step into controversial territory. Granite contains quartz. Quartz produces electricity under pressure. It's called the piezoelectric effect. Under the pyramid lies evidence of underground water channels. Water flowing beneath stone creates vibration. Vibration creates frequency. Frequency interacting with quartz can generate energy. Some researchers propose the Great Pyramid was not a tomb, but a power plant, a resonance machine, a massive generator built from stone. Mainstream archaeology dismisses this, but it has not fully explained why the structure lacks traditional tomb decorations, or why its internal design seems engineered rather than ceremonial. The lost knowledge hypothesis. Here's the idea that makes historians uncomfortable. What if ancient Egypt did not invent all of this knowledge? What if they inherited it? Legends from around the world speak of a lost advanced civilization. One destroyed by catastrophe, a great flood, a global reset. Could knowledge have survived? Passed down, fragmented, encoded? What if the Great Pyramid is not the beginning of advanced civilization, but the remnant of one? There is no definitive proof, but there are anomalies. And anomalies demand investigation. The question no one can answer. Let's assume for a moment it was a tomb. Even then, why this big? Why this precise? Why align it to Earth and stars? Why embed mathematics into its proportions? Why build something meant to outlast civilizations? Monuments send messages. They always do. So what message was this sending? Power? Immortality? Or warning? The silence. For 4,500 years, sandstorms have buried it. Invaders have stripped its casing stones. Empires have come and gone. Yet it remains. Unmoved. Unbroken. Unexplained. We can send probes to Mars. We can split atoms. We can manipulate genes. And yet, we still debate how this was built. Maybe the mystery isn't a failure of ancient intelligence. Maybe it's a failure of ours. Maybe we've underestimated the past. Or maybe, just maybe, there are chapters of human history that were erased, forgotten, or deliberately ignored. Final thought. The Great Pyramid is not just a structure. It's a question, carved in stone. A challenge to our assumptions. A reminder that history is not always what we're told. Until every chamber is opened. Until every anomaly is explained. Until every theory is tested. The pyramid stands there, watching, silent, as if waiting for us to catch up. And maybe, the most unsettling truth of all, is that it already knows something we don't.